Perfect. Hi, guys. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for being here today. I would like to start with just a quick introduction. Can you, Mariano and Rodrigo, introduce yourselves, who you are, and why we're here?
Hello. I'm Mariano Huerta, co-host of the Creekcast.
And I'm Rodrigo Massa, the other co-host of the Creekcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. And so, I just wanted to introduce this amazing project very briefly. This podcast, which is a great project, and you guys will tell us a little bit more about it, but it's sort of a voice of the students, right? A way to answer questions that I feel like a lot of us, especially in high school, had. But could you tell us a little bit about who you are? Who are the Crickets? If I'm pronouncing that properly? And what is Creekcast?
Well, I think if I may go first, Massa.
Yes, of course.
Oh, thanks. Well, I think we already have the brand down. So the Creekcast is a student-led podcast, Activism based as of now, that grew over the past year. We've been branching out to different kinds of stuff, and we, like Mas and me and all the people who support us, are the Crickets, a name that we came up on years before this. And yeah, that's about it.
Amazing. And do you have, Rodrigo, any feelings about why exactly this name came to fruition? I heard in one of your podcasts, which I was it's so much fun to hear you guys. I'm so excited to link it so people can actually listen to you, because it's so much fun. It's this fun conversation when you guys laugh and you share so much, right? But I heard something about the Beatles and some derivative of the Beatles being the Crickets, and then the Crickets coming to that form of spelling for some reason. But yeah, can you tell me more about that?
Yeah. So basically, this goes way back to when we were in middle school, around 8th grade. And during Marley, one of our closest teachers, during her class, we would just bang on tables and make music. Music. And from there, we decided that we would have kind of this fictional band. And so we thought, there needs to be a great name with a great band. And who's better than the Beatles to get inspired by? So Cricket and Beatle, there we go. It was born.
Very nice. Very cool. And just to go back and kind of give our community some context, you were both seniors, right, this year?
Yes.
If I'm mistaken. Yeah. And you have been in school for how long, approx? So middle school, I got that from there, but from before then?
Me,
all my life, like since kinder 3, I've been here. But Massa is
I've been here since 7th grade.
Awesome. Super cool. Okay, so that's where it all started. And back to the origin story. So Marley, then, that's where that space. I know she is a very important voice within the podcast. She has her own, I think, episode, but also she comes back for the origin story. So can you give us a little more information about that and how she impacted this project?
Well, like Massa said, on her class, where basically it started, but she, it was way more than that. She gave us an outlet to do more interesting projects instead of just like writing down stuff. And one of those projects was making a song, I believe, or a music video. And that's where the Crickets as a band came together. We have like 3 music videos on that. And on later stages, there was a podcast project. We were like, oh, Creekcast, boom, done. And that's basically where it started. We had our first episode there. Terrible. Won't ever see the light of day.
I don't believe it. I feel like it was probably amazing, even at the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's because we've come so far from what it was. Yeah, hopefully that's lost to time forever. But yeah, basically on her class, everything, all of this came through.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna, take a turn there. And what is an activism podcast? I'm sorry, I just like what does that mean? I feel like we all talk about it, and we're all very much like, you guys talk about Fridays for Future, and there's that green movement, and then there's tons of other content. But what exactly is that? Is it a more of an opinion column or something like that, or could you give us a little more information on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea of it is more than anything to bring on people who are kind of actively trying to change things in whether it be their community or a bigger community, people with different experiences and perspectives, because ultimately it not only for us but for the people who listen, kind of to grow out of a bubble that we all live in independently of where we are, and kind of have the ability to play on something and listen to an hour of a different life experience for someone. And usually we try to make them people who are trying to make a positive change, for whatever their community is considered to be.
Awesome. And so I know that Marley is in there. We talked about it a bit. And I know Gagan is in there as well, and he's amazing. But what inspires you to pick your speakers, your topics, these people that, want to tell their story and they have something to share? What sort of like that research must be
Mas is more qualified for this, since he picks like basically most of the guests.
Do you just go for it, Mariano? Is it just
I mean, like I
love it. I'll take it. I'll just read about it and we'll go from there.
Yeah, like I trust him. It doesn't like there's no reason for me to be like, like, why are you bringing him here? They're basically happy to have whoever on the podcast, no matter the opinion or their like their political place. Yeah, we just go with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the process is, you just kind of find people every now and then. Like if you're scrolling through social media or you hear about something while you're looking up on the internet, and you'll find these people more than you kind of would believe. You kind of surprise yourself in the amount of people and organizations that are kind of trying to make a change. And so just basically looking for as many options as possible. And a lot of people reply. Honestly, it's impressive. Like they come on to our small podcast, which has like barely any followers or listeners compared to other huge podcasts. And it's something that really kind of shows you the humility of these people.
You guys are micro influencers. This is where it starts, guys. This is just the beginning. I know that you're gonna, even if it's not with the podcast, it's gonna be something amazing, some impact, right? But that's incredible, and that's such a good way I feel like progressing from our community and people like Marley and Gagan, they're so outspoken and they have so much to share, to getting getting people from other sources outside that want to share their voice and they want to be on the podcast. So that is really incredible, and a journey that you guys did by yourselves, which leads me to ask, how did the pandemic sort of impact the evolution of Creekcast?
Well, we talked about it like right before, and basically without the pandemic there wouldn't have been a podcast, or at least in this form, since I think people got so used to these kinds of meetings that it made like reaching out for guests way easier, since people are so used to this kind of stuff. And it's just like this was kind of a therapy. Like we mentioned this like a lot of on our early episodes, how it's like therapeutic just to talk about stuff instead of just like getting it in and not letting it out, and basically sharing it with the world or to whoever listens. So yeah.
And so in terms of the speakers, guys, just a quick sort of, I know that you were talking about that, Rodrigo, but what has been sort of like, I don't want to say a favorite episode because that's very hard. It's like saying what your favorite food is. It's so hard, right? Depends on the day, depends on, but what would be something that's close to your heart, a topic that really inspired you to continue at least, or yeah, to more explore a topic maybe?
I mean, there was like, especially on season 2, there were some big marks, but like our first guest, our second guest, I might say, not to disrespect Gagan, but like the first guest that from the outside, like outside of the school, Anna Kosinski, that was like a big like step for us, since like, oh my god, like this actually is serious. Like
Yeah.
that's where we realized it was more than just a school project. It was something that we wanted to do. But I would say from season 2, the Black Mambas, that really hit,
Yeah.
since like it opened my eyes to how far this has reached. Like just opening the meet and seeing this guy on the middle of the savannah with like just one antenna, with the entire internet of the whole area just like taking us up on this call. It was amazing, very inspiring.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I think we've had a lot of those moments, and as he mentioned with Anne Makasinski in season 1, not only was that like, oh wow, this is for real, and we clearly have a passion for this, but then we also kind of had another stepping point where we brought in Will Boyadjian, which is basically recollects money for the homeless, playing music in the subways of New York. And that episode, we felt like, whoa, we've actually improved at doing this, and there's more room for improvement with different type of people, because it just really does opened our eyes to so many different things.
That's incredible. Honestly, I feel like when you said, Rodrigo, that you reached out to people and they responded, it's just crazy, how the world is becoming so much smaller.
Yeah,
You say the far reaches of, yes, New York, but some
Yeah.
busy place in the savannah with very limited accessibility to internet, which is amazing, guys. This is incredible that you continued with this passion and this amazing project, which has just become this great thing now. And in terms of the next season, do you guys have any sneak
Ooh.
peeks that you want to tell
Wow.
us now? And
Well,
tell
all
the fans.
all that we can say is that if you're watching the video right now, you already got the name spoiled. But we're right now doing like recording the off-season show, which is basically the episodes but off-season. Like the next season, we're still planning out. Can't reveal too much on that, but basically you can look forward to having regular episodes on just the season off the wall.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited for the next season, and very honored that you guys gave me this space. I do want to finish up with sort of tying it back to social impact and how you think you've impacted not only your classmates, but also the whole Peterson community and maybe beyond that, right? As we mentioned before, you have some amazing speakers. How do you think this podcast has given them a voice, right? Independently from you, I think this has been incredible, but you've done such a good job at reaching out and, making Mexico City a place on the map, which we are, of course, but I think that's also super powerful, right? And so how do you think that creative, which is our value of the month, creativity, that creative outlook on things has sort of shaped your project and your outlook on that?
I think like speaking for other people wouldn't be so fair, and to see how we have impacted them. So maybe that's a recap episode in the future that we should do. But I think like personally, like it opened up my just mind space in general, my perspective on how the world works. Because I used to be like, I still am on the episodes, like so like such a downer on some episodes, like we're screwed, like
Just a little nihilistic.
yeah.
You're
like
too young, Mariano. You're too young. There's
I
still a
feel
lot.
all
There's
the
still
way.
good things in the world.
But the more guests you invite over and realize that they're genuinely trying their best to make the world a better place,
Mhm.
it's really inspiring.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe the world isn't as rotten and full of evil as I thought before. Like you see, like once again, like I bring up the Black Mambas like a lot since they were tons of fun. Like they put their lives on the line for what they believe in. Like for the people who don't know, who are listening to this and have no idea who the Black Mambas are, they're a anti-poaching group made up of entirely women, and they use no weapons at all to combat people. They use special tactics, like scare tactics, to make poaching not profitable in their area. So I thought like that was amazing, and it really like inspired. Like, oh my god, like it's so easy to look at the negative stuff and
Yeah.
say, oh yeah, this is the entirety of it. Like there's poaching and it's all wrong.
Mhm.
And then you see like this group of people who are like actively fighting against it, which I don't know, really changed my worldview.
Yeah. I think for me as well, like it changed perspectives of everything and just shows you the amount of people that are making an effort to have social impact, and kind of different ways on interpreting it, because not all of the guests think of social impact the same way. Some of them don't even consider it to be social impact. They'll just be like, well, this is my life. This is what I do, and it's not anything that should really considered thanks to me. It's just what we should all kind of do. And I think for listeners, the main thing I think they would get, because again, I can't really assume, but I think it's just the stories that these people, these guests leave on our podcasts. I mean, listening, I feel like if I listen to it and I feel changed and inspired and look at the world with a different view, then why wouldn't another person listen to it and feel the same way? I think when we are there recording with guests, we're kind of the best way to interpret if it'll be good for the listener or not. Because if it doesn't make an impact on us, why should we be putting it out there? But if it does, well, there's a mark to leave in the listener.
We're super proud at the Peterson that we have such incredible students, such worldly and inspiring citizens that want to do better. So I'm so excited to see what new things are coming up. And well, yeah, I wanted to thank you very much for your time. If there's anything else you'd like to add, this is for our youngsters. Everybody's younger than you at the school at this point.
Oh yeah,
Student body. So not the teachers or everybody else in admin. We're very old, but the students are all younger. If you have anything to say to inspire them, what would you say?
Well, if you want to get inspired, you can check out our Instagram, our YouTube, and our TikTok. Very inspiring
nice.
stuff.
That's it,
Full of
guys.
creativity. Check it out. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That is awesome.